Okay, so if anybody has anything that you want me to touch on, just drop it in the chat. I'm super excited and kind of honored to end our 2020 like tribe huddles, like our Sunday huddles. I don't know, it's really special to me. I feel like I'm usually the one like at the beginning of the month or the beginning of the year or the beginning of a season or a quarter, and to be able to like wrap it up for you guys is really special for me. You know that I always try to offer a different perspective, a different way of looking at things. And so that's kind of what I want to offer to wrap up 2020 and enter 2021. So I want to jump straight in as I'm still trying to admit people um, and talk about. I have my notes. I wanted to do an exercise. And this is the only time that I want anybody to revisit the past, okay? Bear with me for like 2 seconds. I want you guys to reflect. So, not dwell. I didn't say dwell. I said reflect. Acknowledge your things that you are proud of. Grab a piece of paper, things that you're proud of, and things that you are not so proud of for 2020. And get this, even for 2019 and 2018. So I like to go into a new year and kind of look at how I ended previous years and started new years, if that makes sense. Like my best years and my quote unquote worst years, I want to find the common themes. What did I focus on my good years? What did I focus on my bad years? What was my mindset entering into 2020 or into 2019 or even into 2018? How did I wrap up 2018, 2019, and how am I wrapping up 2020? That's going to be my biggest indicator of what I need to focus on or not focus on. So, for example, if I have entered into each new year with the worst attitude possible, and then the years I did that, I had a shitty year, I need to break that habit. And vice versa, if it just so happens that I had a great year when I just kind of like let go of things, and that's my personal story. When I've kind of just been really loose about like my goals for the year and just have this kind of like umbrella goal, this like umbrella vision, things fall into place versus me trying to get way too like specific and trying to control things. Like I want to make sure I make like this much per week, no matter what. And then when those things don't happen all year long, it throws me off. And when I just say, you know what, by the end of the year, I want my savings account to be this. It always happens when I just set these like not broad, but just overarching goals with the small goals in between. So reflect on business and finances, health, and your family. Just for 2020, how you ended last year, went into this year, or use 2018, 2019, whatever. Reflect on some of your good patterns and some of your not so good patterns, the things that you're proud of, the things that you're not so proud of. Just make like a little column thing, like however you want to do it. And just kind of think about those things, because you'll find that you have some good habits and patterns and some not so good habits and patterns that you need to tap into going into 2021, or that you definitely need to let go going into 2021. You will not experience success in 2021 by carrying anything with you that's not serving you. So I will say, for me personally, going into a new year, what I'm doing at the end of the year is what always sets the tone for the new year. I was sitting in the house at the end of 2019, and guess what we all got to do most of 2020? Sit in quarantine in the damn house. Not that I brought quarantine on, of course, but I literally, if I have, like, I was in a toxic relationship when I spent like December arguing, guess what I spent the next year doing? Arguing. It never fails. When I've spent December focused on goals, I have reached those goals. When I focused on health, I had good health for a year. When I focused on what I wanted, like vision board stuff and not even like any structure to it, I just spent like all of December, I think it was like 2018 maybe. I spent all of that December like game planning, period. I didn't care what it was. I just knew it was success one way or another. And then boom, like I got with my husband, I got a new house, I got a new car, I started a new business. Like I didn't plan any of those things. Those weren't even, I didn't say like start a new business is on my whatever, like goal list, but it happened. It fell into place. So just reflect on those things. If you have time to do it like while I'm talking, then do that. And then if not, you can do it afterwards. So use that to make your game plan and then wipe the slate clean. So that's the only information that you're taking. You're just going to jot down these little notes like, I did this well. I didn't do this so well. I wish I would have focused a little bit more on my health and took my products more consistently. But everything else, I think I did fine, and I need to build upon that. or, however you want to word it, and then completely wipe the slate clean. For real, don't even think about it again after this. After tonight, do not think about anything that was like what do they call, like a shortcoming, like you fell short of a goal, a health goal, a business goal. Maybe you said like you weren't going to like yell at your kids and that's all you did all year. It is what it is. Wipe the slate clean once you've tapped into what you're proud of and what you're not so proud of. So that is the first exercise. I cannot breathe, y'all. So the next thing is, we always say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's the theme. That's the one thing that's been sticking out to me for 2021, is to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I'm a stay ready type of person. I'm not one of those people where I leave for 3 months and when I come in, I'm on fire, obviously, because I haven't worked in 3 months. Like, I'm not that person. I'm constantly doing my follow-ups. I'm constantly doing my emails. I'm constantly touching base. I'm constantly showing my face. I'm constantly tapping into the things that I need to tap into. So that's what I want everybody to do, is whatever that means to you, get ready or stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's the whole thing. Don't pop up mid-January like, oh, let me get my shit together. No, get it together now so you don't have to get it together later. Stay ready all of 2021. You do not want to be the person come like, I don't know, next month or March or June, I don't know when. You don't want to be that person who hasn't worked your business in 2, 3, 4 months when they release a bonus or another getaway, or they do so many crazy things like cash bonuses and giving away free cars. You don't want to be the person who hasn't shown up consistently for weeks and months when those things happen. So that's what it means by stay ready so you do not have to get ready. Y'all are going to hear me say that over and over and over again because it's been screaming at me in my ear. Like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I also wanted to throw this out there. Going along with that, the staying ready, a quarantine plan. A nationwide, a statewide, a citywide, your own household. I know that there's a few people on here who have tested positive for COVID and didn't know what they were going to do. And what I've actually seen myself, not just from the tribe, but just in general, people don't have a plan for when they have to quarantine their family or quarantine, like as a nation, until it happens. So it's like you don't want to work or have a fallback plan until you don't have any income coming in and your husband doesn't have any income coming in. Now, all of a sudden, you want to go full force with your business. But if you had stayed ready and been full force with your business, you would have never had to work out of that disparity. So I've seen people go into a 10 or 14-day quarantine and enroll a bunch of people. But where were those people before you were forced to stay home is my question. If you've been doing your follow-ups, you would have already signed those people. They would be reordering from you consistently. That's your first sign that you've probably not been following up like you're supposed to, doing your IPAs like you're supposed to. Like I said, it's like people who jump out for 2 months and then come back in and sign like 10 people. Well, of course, because you've not worked in a while, you're going to kind of burn through that warm market. And then once it slows down for you, then you jump back out and jump back in and jump back out and jump back in. But wouldn't you want that same paycheck for all 52 weeks in 2021? Like, wouldn't you want a consistently growing paycheck, not just let me make $100 and then come back in 3 weeks and make another $100, but nothing for 3 weeks and then make another 50. Like, that inconsistency in your paychecks is a direct reflection of the inconsistency in you showing up in your business. So just having that plan, just because we are in such uncertain times, go ahead and prepare for that. Go ahead and prepare. You know what 2020 was like for you personally in your household. Anything that you didn't like or that you were uncomfortable with in your household, you have the power to set up a plan to change that. If faced with the same exact thing that you were faced with, I'm going to just use Christina because I can see her. I know that, her family tested positive for COVID and she went through some things, and bless her heart, she had the roughest time. But if that happened to you again, Christina, God forbid, what could you do differently this time to prepare for it? Because who's to say something like that couldn't happen to any of us? We know that it can happen. And then when it happens, we're like, oh my gosh, what? No, we all know it. So do we have a plan? And like, my husband hates that about me, but I'm the same way with him. It's like, if he were made to quarantine for COVID exposure or something like that, and he couldn't go to work, I'm like, okay, I have a business. Do you have a business? So I have to get his gears thinking to where if he were exposed, not even have it, but just exposed and not able to go to work, what are you going to do? And I literally look him in the face and ask him that. I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, what would you do if we have rent due in a couple days and you weren't able to go to work for the next 2 weeks? What would you do? I'm genuinely curious. So those are the things that we need to think about, not just COVID and quarantine and all that, because I'm hoping that things go up and up and up from here, but let's be realistic and just have a game plan. Same thing with like virtual school. You know what I mean? Like you can maybe go to work, but if your kids can't go to school, what are you going to do? I said that before they even like open schools back up. I asked my audience that. I'm like, you guys aren't sending your kids or don't want to keep your kids home because you have to work, but what are you going to do when they make them come home to do school? And nobody had a plan. And then all of a sudden, like in our county, they sent everybody home and everybody acted like it was never a possibility to begin with. So those are the things that go on in my brain when I say stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Your life doesn't have to fall apart next year because of things that you can't control and this happening and this happening with your husband's job and whatever. Your life doesn't have to be in shambles and be in chaos all the time if you stay ready. It's like, okay, well, we've got, $5,000 in savings, 10 grand in savings, even at $1,000 in savings. So if we're quarantined for 2 weeks, we have savings and an emergency fund to fall back on. Cool. Something, like have something, because I see that so many people can't handle the stress of those unexpected things. So when they happen, it's like health goals, business, finances, mom life, relationship with your spouse, everything just goes out the window. And you're just kind of like grabbing, like, I don't know, like you're drowning. And so that's what I want to prevent, because that's what it seems like causes people to spiral with anxiety, with depression, with all these different things. So just stay ready on those things so that you don't have to get ready. So what else could trip you up and throw you off of your game in 2021? It's easy to talk vision and talk goals, and that's all that you focus on. But realistically, not speaking the things into existence, not thinking about them and manifesting them into your existence. But what could get in the way? Is it your unsupportive spouse? Is it that you work 2 to 3 jobs? Is it that you're going to be moving next year? For us, we're having a baby. So I know that that's something that I have to weave through and figure out our new normal. And so that's what I'm starting to do. I had a conversation with Krista today, or maybe today. And I told her, I was like, I'm super sick, but I'm learning like this isn't going away, like the sickness. So I'm just learning to listen to my body and maximize the times in between when I'm not sick. I sat here and played games with my kids this evening before our training started because I wanted to preserve my energy. That's not something that I was doing before, but I'm learning to cope with my new normal. So that's something that could trip me up, is this pregnancy and the doctor's appointments and the sickness. And I had a difficult pregnancy with my son, and I don't know if it's going to be the same and if I'm going to be on bed rest and all these different things, but I'm going to go ahead and prepare for those. Okay, worst case scenario, I'm going to have a new schedule that I can, do my IPAs like at different time. I'm a get up and get it done type of person. Well, now in the mornings, your girl is sick. I can't get up and do it now. So I've had to kind of shift things in my mind to make me okay with doing them a little bit later in the day, with getting more done in a shorter amount of time. Because to me, if I'm not working, like if I'm not actively doing anything, I do not feel productive at all. And so now I've had to give myself grace and just be like, you know what? If you can't look at your phone screen because it makes you dizzy and nauseous, which it does, put it down. But whenever you are able to pick it up, there's no Netflix, there's no scrolling, there's no chit chatting. Like Krista will tell you, my delayed response time is serious right now. When I'm on my phone, I'm getting my work done first because it's very sparse, I guess you could call it. Like it's scarce when I can get on my phone. So just think about what things might trip you up, throw you off. Brittany was just explaining to us as leaders that life is always going to throw something your way. Like 2020 is not this, or 2021 is not going to be this like fix all where like everything disappears and all the pandemic and craziness and stuff like that is just gone. It doesn't work that way. Like it doesn't work that way. I know I'm on the local school board here, and they said it's going to be 3 to 5 years before they figure this virtual school stuff out, but that it's not going anywhere. Like it's still going to be offered as an option, I know here, but it's going to be an incentive. So kids with good grades will be able to opt for virtual, but it's going to take them 3 to 5 years to perfect it. So don't think that like anything's just drastically going away, like externally out of our control. So the only thing that you can control is you. Be prepared for whatever. Know what might trip you up. Know what your toxic traits are. Know what your toxic behaviors are. Know what your like consistency and discipline type things are. If you know that your life is a shit show in the mornings, stop trying to do it in the mornings. Give yourself a couple hours. I know me and Krista are opposite. Krista creates content better, I think it's in the mornings, and mine is at nighttime. And we both had to learn those things, because her trying to stay up and do it at nighttime and me trying to do it early in the mornings, it just doesn't work. And those are some things that can be flexible. Obviously, like our training times and those sorts of things, those aren't flexible. If work with me is at a certain time, that's when they are. Our Sunday trainings are at a certain time, that's when they are. Your work schedule, that's when it is. But your content days and your like your day to actually like go take pictures versus your day to actually like make your like stories and your captions and focus more on like unfriending people or whatever. Those things are so flexible, but they're too flexible to where you don't do them, or you like try to force yourself to do them while you're on a work with me, but it's not your best work. And so then you dread it. And it's just this vicious cycle. So I just really want you guys to spend these next few days reflecting, diving deep into being real with yourself. Because I think you come on here to, you know, like in the chats and just like in front of the team and stuff like that, or on your social media or whatever you want to call it. You want to paint this picture almost that you are like positive Polly all the time and da 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 da. And it's so great. You have to speak to yourself obviously in like a positive way, but you need to be real with yourself on the inside. If you don't, my husband wants it. If you don't, I'm on a Zoom. Don't start. Okay. I don't even know what I was saying. But if you're not, I'm not going to say like if you're not a morning person, don't act like you're a morning person. But what I mean is like if you don't do your best work, okay, I see some of you that go live in the mornings. I know Erica's one. That's her jam. Cool. If your kids nap at a certain time, maximize it. Like you don't have to follow. My thing is you don't have to follow anybody else's schedule. You don't have to follow anybody else's, like we have like a blueprint and you can follow in footsteps. But the point is to take pieces of everybody, like all the leaders. Don't start. Y'all don't start messing with me. Y'all know I'm over here sweating and I'm hot and I can't breathe. But anyway, so y'all get the point in that. So what else might trip you up? So then start focusing on your goals. So that's when I started to put weekly, monthly, quarterly goals. And that's everything from like mindset down to how many customers, what your team is going to look like, the rank that you're going for, the paycheck amount, the samples. Are you going to commit to making sure that you have your 2 customers every single month, no matter what, all of 2021? Are you going to enroll X amount of promoters a month? And this is the thing. You have like, so we have like love languages and then we have like apology languages, and those go along with our learning styles and our discipline styles. So for me, so let me use my wonderful husband as an example. We set goals for 2020 to read. He committed to reading every day. I know me. I know I'm not going to read every day. Even 5 to 10 pages, I know I'm not going to, because it takes a lot of focus for me to read. So what I committed to, you guys know my goal was 12 books, and I reached that. Had I have committed to reading every single day, I would have not reached my goal. So the 12 books is no different than reading X amount of pages per day. I still, by the end of the year, got my goal accomplished, and it was a very good goal to read 12 books. So use your like discipline, love language, learning style type of thing when you're setting your goals. If you know you're not going to walk every day, especially when it gets hot, don't say that. Now, if you know that you can commit to walking 3 times a week, write that down. So there's a difference between your comfort zone and like stretching yourself, but then also like going against your human nature, if that makes sense. Like we're all different in the way that our brains work. And so whenever I talk about 2021 weekly, monthly, quarterly goals, internal like mindset, your customers, promoters, your team stuff, your business, your family, your household, whatever it is, I want you to formulate those based off of you, if that makes sense. So like I use me and Krista a lot because like I'm in her house all the time. So like we're different as far as how we take care of our home. Don't commit to cleaning your house every day if that's not you. I'm a clean my house every day person. So I can commit to that with like monthly deep cleans and da 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 da. Chris says, like, you know what? I'm never going to commit to that and I'm cool with that. So I'm going to have somebody come do it for me. And I'm just going to do the maintenance around it. That works for her. So it's whatever works for you. Like, don't stop looking at everyone else's vision board and hopping on everybody's training and trying to mimic exactly what they're doing when it doesn't fit your mold. Elevating the thermostat. Exactly. I'm not a rare breed. So just do, like I said, there's a difference in your comfort zone. Like Britt said, raise the thermostat, but do that within your learning style, your discipline style. Brittany's red, and that goes with the same thing, the Enneagram stuff and all that. Like Brittany's red, I'm red. And that also goes along with like your team and like your downline, which is like a whole different leadership type of thing. But realize that in other people, realize that in your audience, realize that with your own team as you bring people on. I was motivated by weekly paychecks. That motivated me. Money is a huge motivator to a red personality. Recognition means absolutely nothing to me. Now, in my team, I have to see who likes recognition, who likes, spontaneous gifts. Like Chris's love language is gift giving. So she likes to reward people with spontaneous gifts. But other people who don't like that, that's not their love language. They like recognition. They might want a certificate in the mail. And that's why the leaders switch it up. Like Krista, I know used to send like certificates, and then sometimes it was thank you cards, and sometimes it's small gifts. And she likes to like hone in on what people need. I know with Candy, she sent Daylin a toothbrush when she got her braces. Like those are super like thoughtful things that I think that as you learn people, you learn those things, but it's no different. My point is it's no different when you're with your audience. It's no different with you. Stop chasing after things that are like completely not even in your level of discipline. Like I said, recognition means absolutely nothing to me. If I get my name called for something, I don't even want to participate if that's like the prize at the end. Now, for my own satisfaction, I have to internally be lit up by something. It has to be like, I'm a very money motivated person or like an internal satisfaction. I didn't put it this way. I didn't go to neither of my college graduations because I don't care that much. It lit me up to know that I finished. The moment I closed that laptop from checking my final grades, I was done. I didn't need anything else. That did it for me. I didn't need to walk across the stage. That did absolutely nothing for me. Whereas some people don't care if they, D is still passing, C is still passing. They don't care what those grades were. If they get to walk, they're good. As long as they're walking, they don't care how they did, if they learned anything, anything else. We're all different. So just think about those things. And I think one-on-one, I could probably like help you point those things out. It's really hard with everybody on here. No, there's no shame in recognition at all. I'm saying pinpoint that and pinpoint that in your audience too. Like how we do giveaways. I don't care about giveaways. I honestly don't want to keep up with stuff like that. Like when people do like gift cards on Amazon and stuff, Chris says quick to tag me in those. I don't pay attention to them. I don't have my notifications on to know what's going on. So it doesn't light me up. So realize that when you're getting creative with doing like your sample pack giveaways on your page and different things, see who, like my audience, apparently they're good with, instead of doing like a sample pack giveaway, they're good with like cash giveaways, like even like a $25 cash app. They are quick to drop a cash app and tune into my live versus like a free sample pack or a free product or something of equivalent value. I have no idea. I didn't even know that until I did it. And that's what got me thinking about this. Like, okay, your audience has the same thing. Like some people are cash driven. Some people are prize given. They just want to win. They don't even care. They don't even use it. They just want to win something. They just want to say they won and get something in the mail. So figure those things out with your goals, like align them with who you are. Step outside of your comfort zone, but still align them with the way that your brain is wired. Customers, promoters, rank, customer service too. I want to make sure, and this goes into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, the last thing. Some of the things that I know that we talked about throughout this year, with like customer service and stuff, go ahead and start those things now. Like I was able to send a ton of Christmas cards to my sample pack customers just from writing them down. And I know that Candy pointed out on a work with me that you can search like the word address in your messenger to pull up people that you've had Facebook Messenger conversations with, and you ask them for their address if you just type the word address in. And so you can get those addresses that way. But if you've not done it up until this point, just start now. Start now and write January on it, and then write a number 1 in your first sample customer. Write them down. And then I have a separate notebook for my actual customers. So those sorts of things, like our systems and those sort of things, I really want us to get very clear. If you're an Excel spreadsheet person, please use an Excel spreadsheet. If you are a planner person, notebook person, please use that. If you're a big notebook person versus like a sticky note person, do whatever you need to do to like keep your customer service and your systems in place. Also, something that I want to point out, because I know that some people are going to feel like I'm talking about them with this, don't buy another planner or notebook until you have reached a goal. When you reach a goal, reward yourself, okay? Listen, listen. Do not buy 15 2021 planners that you half-ass fill out and half-ass stick to, and it's been 4 days since you've looked at it. We're not doing that in 2021. Collectively, I speak for us all, collectively, we're not doing that. Don't buy another notebook until it's a reward for yourself. You know what I mean? Like reward yourself with that when you hit your 4K or your 12K or you pop a 4K or you repeat your VIPs. Just make it like a little game with yourself, a little challenge. That popped in my head. I don't know if I seen something like in the chat. Brittany said she had this talk with herself. Bye, Krissa. She's gonna send me pajamas she needs and a bedroom set. Bye. And I don't care. Treat yourself with whatever. Like buy your candles, buy like whatever. Don't buy another notebook for 2021. You don't need it. You do not need it. Now, if you need to start fresh right now, you know, to get your customers and your sample customers and all that. And I say that too, because my mom got me like this gratitude journal that's like already prompted in it and it's got dates on it. And so I'm actually going to not use my normal gratitude notebook until I run out of pages in my actual gratitude journal. Instead of having like 15 going at once, I have one that is for like my money manifestations, and I have the one my mom got me. That's all I'm doing. I'm probably not even going to buy my planner pages again until I get my life together. Like until I have enough going on each day, I'm not even about to do it. Like I can send my schedule to Krissa in like one like paragraph text message. I don't need a damn planner. If I have like 3 things to do each day, I don't need a planner. I can do a sticky note. Like I can put that in my phone. We're not doing like the cue, you know, like whatever. We're getting it together. We're putting our heads down this year. Okay. So I don't know who needed to hear that. Get your calendar ready, get your planner ready, but we don't need any more is my thing. Like definitely get a new one for the new year, but we don't need another one in March and then another one in June and, you know, going on from there. So, and then personally, something that I wanted to talk about, just in case this is for everyone, I'm going to get, or for anyone, I'm going to get real and raw about my own thing really quick. Something for me, I had to kind of stop showing up as much in this capacity to focus more on me. Because sometimes we get so blinded by, you know, for me, like I would get so consumed with doing the work, with doing trainings and work with me's and this and that. I had to take a step back and really look within to see what I needed to grow in. And for me, I know that you heard me and Brittany talk on a training before, if not multiple trainings, about how I was saying writing down gratitude, but not feeling it. How we would just like go through the motions and like write things down, but not genuinely feeling it. And so that I had to dig deeper into that. And it's almost like faking energy, if that makes sense. It's almost like, not like fake it till you make it or anything, but it's almost like faking positivity, faking gratitude, faking belief without genuinely feeling it. And so that's something I honestly have to work on, because when I'm alone with my own thoughts, they're different than what I say out loud as far as belief goes and gratitude goes. Like I can say all day that I believe I'm a 200K, but then when I'm alone by myself, it's like, but I mean, it hasn't happened yet. Or da-da-da-da-da. You know, like I just start to get in my head, and I feel like that's what we all do. Is it's easy to say like, oh, I'm pumped for 2021, da, da, da. But when you're like by yourself, do you really feel that way? Are you really pumped for 2021? Are you really going to do anything different? Are you excited about your health goals? And that's where this back and forth comes from. That's where this up and down comes from. That's where the inconsistency comes from. It all stems from, I do that with self-worth. It's hard saying out loud. I do it. That's right. Do it. Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, it's just getting real though. Like, it's getting real and raw with how you truly feel. Because how I actually feel, I just need some. Said not to be Mad Maxing it. Energy. But yeah, how do you actually feel like when no one's around? How do you genuinely feel about yourself, about your family, about your living situation, your finances? It's easy to say like, oh yeah, my goal is to make $500 a week in 2021. Do you really feel that that's possible for you? And it's okay if it's not. I want you to just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it, because saying it over and over is going to make you believe it. But until you realize that you don't even believe it, like you're not going to like connect it, if that makes sense. And that's something that I've been going through, because I'm an extremely confident person, but I'm also confident based off of results, based off of like factual things. I don't have that more creative, like imaginative part of my mind that a lot of people have. Well, it's like 50-50, but some people are just more like visionary. If they can paint a picture in their mind, they can believe it. Me, I have to have like black and white in my face, like hardcore facts. So if I've never made a certain amount of money, I always piggyback off of someone else close to me. So I've seen Chris's paychecks before. I know how much she's made before. I know what like a 40K check looks like. That helps me more than just being like, oh, well, some people make like, 50 grand, whatever. That's not what motivates me. That's not what makes it click for belief in my mind. So I wanted to just point that out because it is something vulnerable for me. You guys know I have no shame. I'll share whatever. But just think about that in all aspects and see where that disconnect might be. See what you say versus how you feel. When you say it, how do you feel? When you say it, do you feel fake? Do you feel like an imposter? Do you feel down? Does it excite you for a second when people are around? And then when nobody's around, you kind of feel down about it. Like, yeah, right. Is there like a little voice on the side? Like you're saying one thing and then this voice back here is like, not going to happen. Or who are you to want that? Or those little things. And I think whenever we speak about mindset, this is what we're talking about. But I don't think like we break it down that far. It's like, no, your mindset should be on fire towards your goals, whatever. But like realistically, you have to bridge that gap in order to get there though. So just as you're reflecting on this year and what you really want next year, and we have a plan now, we know we're going to set goals, mindset wise, tangible goals for our business, goals for our household. We're going to stick to them because they're going to be based off of our own learning styles, our own disciplines, and how our brain is wired, right? And then in that reflection process on last year or the year before, what we kind of like aren't proud of, what we are proud of, what we want to change, what we want to carry with us, what we don't want to carry with us. Think about that too. Sprinkle that in there. That's why I saved it for last. Sprinkle that in there. Like what I wasn't proud of, where was the disconnect? Or was it what I was proud of? I guarantee what you're proud of, your energy gets behind more. Like you believe those things, if that makes sense. Like say that you lost 20 pounds in 2020. You can carry that same energy into 2021 as a win and you're proud of it, but your energy was behind that too. Your belief was behind it that it was possible. And that's why you're proud of it. And then the things that you're not so proud of, that you're like, dang, like I fumbled, like I don't know what happened. I don't know. I didn't take my products or I didn't work my business every day or whatever. Your energy wasn't behind it. You didn't take your products because you didn't feel like they were truly doing anything. And then vice versa, since you felt like they weren't truly doing anything, you didn't reach your goals. And it's just this vicious cycle. You didn't make more money each week or each month or whatever. Oh, people are still rejoining. You didn't make more money weekly or monthly or whatever it is because you didn't feel like you could, but because you didn't feel like you could, then you didn't. And it's just a cycle. Like they all go hand in hand. So you can always find that factual evidence. And I'm a, like I said, black and white, like evidence-based person. So I have to see those things in the moment. I don't feel like that, like in the moment. And then in reflection, it's like, oh, well, that's probably why. That's why I promoted to 12K in April, but didn't promote to 40K. I saw 12K. I knew it was mine. I'm like, why would I have gotten a new car in 2019, the same month I joined this business, if I wasn't meant to have that auto bonus? Nobody could tell me otherwise. I never was down on myself about 12K. I didn't care when it happened because I knew it was going to happen. 40K on the other hand, I didn't look past 12K. So my belief wasn't 2000%. You know what I mean? You maybe came in and knew that you could hit your VIPs. Okay, boom. 2 customers, 2 promoters. That's what she said I got to do. $400, bet. But you didn't think about doing it again to get your other $400 bonus. Or maybe you did get, your 800, but you never looked at 4K. So you're saying all the time, like, I'm a 4K leader. I'm a 4K leader. I got this. Da, 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 da. But you don't believe it. You never looked that far. You never really like put your belief that far. Maybe you hit 4K and you just never like, you're like, well, 4,000 was hard. 12,000, not going to happen. So whenever you're talking to the team or talking to, like your downline, you're like, yeah, 12K, 12K, 12K. But in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, no, like I barely scrape by with 4. Like, no. So I know those conversations go on in your head is my point. That's why all of us, each and every one of us, we're at the level that we're at right now, good or bad, whatever, because of that thought process, because of that inner dialogue that goes on. There's nobody that can fix it for you. There's nothing that you can do besides acknowledge it and then intentionally every single day work on that. You start debunking it. Well, why couldn't I be 40K? And list it out. Like, why couldn't I be? If you write down right now, why can't I be X rank or why can't I make X weekly? The things you write down they're going to be the stupidest things you have ever read in your life. I'm not joking. If you really try to put some logic behind why you can't have something, you're never going to find anything that makes sense. Like, write it down and then give it to your significant other. Be like, look, babe, I can't hit 12K because even though other people deserve $300 a month for their car, I just don't think that I do. He's going to look at you like you're stupid. Like, what? That doesn't even like logically make sense. There's nothing that you can write down that actually makes sense when you put it in writing. Saying it in your mind does make sense because it's like a different dialogue. But if you put it pen to paper, it does not make any sense at all whatsoever. So kind of do that. Like I said, go back to the things that you're not so proud of and all of that and all your goals. And then actually write down as if you're talking to someone else, like your spouse or whatever, your mom, anybody. Like if I call my mom up and was like, Mom, I don't really think that I can hit 40K because it's like over 3 times what I did with 12K and I've been in for such and such amount of time. My mom's probably actually going to tell me I sound stupid, to be honest. She hates that type of talk. So she's going to be like, Kelly, that doesn't even make any sense. And then she's going to start telling me, okay, well, you also didn't think that you could graduate high school when you had a baby at 16, did you? And then get your bachelor's degree and then get your master's degree. And you never thought that you were going to escape that 5-year toxic relationship, did you? You know what I mean? She's going to start like proving me wrong. And that's what I need to do for myself. I need to prove myself wrong with those stupid theories. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but it's stupid. Like I'm telling you, just do the exercise because I've done it and I'm just like, I don't even sound like I have an education by the things that I just wrote down. I don't even sound educated. Like I sound a little illiterate. I sound like I just made some stuff up. Like it does not make any sense. So I haven't kept up with any comments. So if you did have a question for me, please like bump it back in here. If anybody needs to chime in, you're more than welcome to. I really hope that this was helpful. I hope that you guys learn a little bit about yourselves, because the more that you know about yourself, the more that you're able to kind of strengthen your weaknesses and build upon your strengths. The more that you are aware of your own patterns and what makes you tick and your behaviors and the way that you operate, that helps so much with setting goals. I know that you guys have heard mine and Chris's example with her being grateful for her weekly checks and the things that she was able to do with them when she finally created a master list of all the things that she wanted. It's called a desires list. She finally made one and then it started to click for her. She had been getting all those things, but until she made it fit her mind and the way that her brain works, she wasn't connecting them. There's always a disconnect when you're trying to like deviate from your learning style. Like our brains are wired a specific way for discipline, and I don't believe in motivation, but if you use that word, like motivation / discipline and learning and getting things done and stuff like that. Like Krista feels like the cleaning thing, she feels just as good having her house clean regardless. It doesn't matter who does it. Me, I'm going to go behind somebody who cleans my house and be like, yeah, it's just isn't it, sis? Like, that's not going to work for me. That it doesn't motivate me the same way that it motivates her, that it motivates Britt, or who else do I see? Rebecca, Shavana, Christina, Erica. Like, it's everything is going to work different for other people. So just keep those things in the back of your mind when you're reflecting and as you are preparing for 2021. That's what I really want you guys to do, is just learn yourselves and keep those things in mind. Center your goals around it, tweak your goals around it, step outside of your comfort zone and raise your thermostat based off of those things. Level up around those things. Like, use all of your what am I trying to say? Your disciplines and learning style things, that your things about you. Y'all know what I'm saying. Use those to just propel you forward and tweak everything that we teach you to fit your learning style. If we say customer service, do your customer service, but do it in a way that works for you. Is it writing it down? You know what I mean? Like, is it writing the people's names down with their addresses? How does it work for you? What does that look like for you? And it does take work. And honestly, if this process is easy for you, like if you can figure all this out tomorrow, you probably didn't do it right. It takes a lot of paying attention to yourself. It takes a lot of self-awareness, self-actualization. It takes a lot of inner reflection to work on these things. You know what I mean? To like bring it out and work on those. So I didn't see anything in the chat. Does anybody need to unmute and say anything? No?
I just wanted to piggyback on the ending this really for 5 seconds, because I am going to make a thread in the team page. Like, I'm actually about to post it, that has 2021 goals on it, to piggyback off of what Kiana's topic is. And I know it's something that we either share very openly and honestly about because we're like gun ho, have them ready for 2021, or maybe it's something we're like doubting ourselves or whatever it may be, and we don't really want to share openly and honestly about. But I'm going to make a thread in the team page, and I'm going to post my goals for 2021 in it, and then any other person that wants to share in the thread in the comments, just so that we can go back and look at our goals throughout whatever the time is through the year as well, so that you can go back and find your comment, find your post for your 2021 goals, and resort back to it if you ever need to. I think having it in the team page, besides just in the chat, allows you to be able to remind yourself of your why, of your values, of your beliefs, of your passions, of your goals. And by sharing it openly and honestly, it holds you to what you're saying too, as well, meaning it's holding your accountability because you actually put it out into the universe. So that's the other thing I want you guys to hold on to. And Kiana, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to put that in there.
No, that's so good. And I mean, if you need that, like, get real with yourself. Accountability partner thing, it doesn't work with my learning style. But if that works for you, find somebody that works with you. And even if it's like monthly, like if you find someone for January as a really good accountability partner who's like stretching you, not somebody that you're comfortable with, but someone who's stretching you, and then maybe that doesn't work out, choose somebody else for February and for March and April. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to fit into this mold. You can do whatever you want to do, whichever way you want to do it, whatever fits the best for you. If you've got kids, especially if you've got multiple kids, you know, nothing is the same for every person. What works for one child does not work for the other child. What works for me does not work for Krista, does not work for Brittany, does not work for the next person. So take it, mold it, make it yours, make it fit you, trial and error. And then once you figure out like this baseline of, okay, you know what, I've been trying to do my IPAs in the morning and it doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is make sure I post in the morning, and then I'll do the rest of my IPAs in the early afternoon. Boom. Then build upon it. Then you're like, okay, I've done my IPAs for 2 weeks in the early afternoon. Let's see if I can get 2 rounds in between noon and 3 o'clock. You see what I mean? Like, you just build upon it from there. Try something for a week to 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like 7 to 21 days, depending on how difficult of a task it is for you to implement and get on a routine with, and then build upon it from there. If you're going to commit to reading a book a month, like that's what I did this past year, is a book a month, basically 12 books. Now I can up that and challenge myself to 24. If I can do 12, why can't I do 24? That's the up level that's going to consistently happen. It's not like, okay, well, 12 is just going to be my goal for the rest of my life, like because I did it. No, now I can up it from there and challenge myself. And it's like that with everything. If your goal is, I don't know, 500 PV and you finally get that, then you up it to 1,000. And then once you hit 1,000, then you up it to 1,500. If your goal is to do your VIP 800 over and over and over, which should be everyone's goal, then it's your VIP 1,600. And then it's like, okay, I want to hit 4K. Once you hit 4K, okay, I want to maintain 4K by like the 15th so that I can hit 12K or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you just constantly go up from there. So all of I feel like any goal that you have still can go back to that core principle of how can I make this concept work for me? How can I reach this goal in the best way possible? If it's a health goal, be realistic, stretch yourself some, and be realistic at the same time. Like I said, I know I'm not about to walk every day. I know I'm not. I'm not going to tell myself I am. I'm not going to tell myself I'm going to walk every day. But what I can do is drink water every day. What I can do is walk 3 or 4 times a week. What I can do is buy some home workout equipment. You know what I mean? Like you can do different things. What you can do is move in place, walk in place while you do dishes. What you can do is stand up and fold your laundry instead of sit down. See what I mean? Like what of those things work best for you? I can throw ideas out all day long. So I hope that this was helpful. I really hope that you guys have a really productive end to the year these next couple of days, that you really get so clear on what you want the next 12 months to look like. Where you're sitting right now, it's today, the 27th. I don't want you to be sitting on December 27th of 2021 in the same spot, reflecting on your 2021, like at the end of next year. I don't want you to reflect on all of next year and have the same things that you're not proud of this year follow into next year. If you're like, well, I wasn't proud of myself for my consistency, I don't want you to be saying that again at the end of next year. If you had a rank goal or an enrollment goal, I don't want you to be sitting, halfway through 2021 or the end of 2021 and still have not hit those. You know what I mean? Like I want you to progress. The problems that you have and the reflection that you do at the end of next year, I want it to look different than what this is. I want your problems to up level as your growth up levels, if that makes sense. If your problem right now is not paying your bills, I don't want that to still be your problem next year. I want your problem next year to be like, well, I didn't hit my $500,000 savings goal, but I hit like half of that, up level your problems at the same time that you're up leveling your goals in your life and your business and all that. So have a wonderful Sunday night and a wonderful end to your year. And I cannot wait to see your all's 2021 goals in the chat. I will get this posted ASAP. Have a great night.